Testing. Hello and welcome to the Knitting and Anxiety podcast. My name is Allison Barnes and I'm coming to you today from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, where I live with my husband and my son and my 3 cats, Wicket, Cricket, and Kennedy. Thank you so much if you are a returning viewer, and if this is your first time watching, thanks for checking me out. This podcast is about knitting and crocheting, spinning, hand dyeing yarn, crafty things, sewing, and mental health. I generally start with the crafty things first, followed by sometimes self-promotion, and then some news on how I've been doing lately, things from my personal life. And so I will get into the stuff you're here for first, all of the knitting and crafty content. Joining me today is Cricket, and she wants to wander and get in the way. So I hope you guys have been well. It's been a couple months since I last recorded a video, mainly because it has been the crazy market season around here. And I just finished my 3rd event of the season, and I'm all done until next spring. If you hear some rustling sounds beside me, that's just Cricket laying on some paper. And she might start ripping it too. Anyway, Well, let's start off with FOs. I am wearing my finished object called the Marley Shawl. It is my first brioche project, and it was part of a knit-along with the Yarning. Is a local knitting and crocheting and crafting group in Sherwood Park, Alberta. And we did a kind of a fun knit-along. Many of us never knew how to brioche before, and this was our first project. So I'm going to take it off. I probably won't wear it for the duration of the podcast because it is very warm. But this is the pink side. And I did use a gradient of pinks to finish the shawl. And on the back side, I used a skein of the Super Sock NATO from Ancient Arts. And this was just a one-off color. And it's a very pale speckle, and I kind of like this side better, but I guess depending on what I'm wearing and how I feel, I can wear it pink side out or white side out. It was very addictive knitting. I followed the pattern as best as I could. I used the needles that were recommended, the size needles that were recommended, and I started to run out of my white speckle color just at the very end. I think I skipped the last 2 rows before I did the bind off. But it's a beautiful triangle shaped shawl. I like wearing triangles. I find they stay on pretty easily. I can wrap them around my neck and tie them in the front. If I get very cold, then I can, no, don't climb in there. Don't climb in there. If I get cold while I am working, I can drape it over my shoulders like this. Nobody wants to see your butt. Hey? Nobody wants to see your butt. This is a nice way to wear it if I'm like curled up on the couch and I'm knitting, watching TV. It is very, very cozy, very soft and squishy. Brioche was a lot of fun, and I highly recommend trying it. It wasn't as hard like I was intimidated to try it, but I'm really glad I did because it really wasn't hard at all. Yes, you do have to pay attention, especially when there's increases, and I did miss a few increases on one side of the shawl. Move, please. Thank you. So that is my only FO. Actually, I think I'm going to wear it on my shoulders. That feels really nice. The dryer just buzzed. I'm going to switch the laundry. Let's talk about some works in progress. I have 3 that I'm going to share with you today. The first is a new sock that I cast on this week, and it is going to be a pair of tube socks for my son for Christmas. And I am using the Biscot yarns in the Sorcerer's Scarf colorway. My son is a huge Harry Potter fan, and so I thought it would be fun to knit him some self-striping socks for Christmas. And I'm just going to, Cricket's ripping paper. I'm just going to knit until I have about 55 grams left on the ball so that I can do the toe decreases, and then I will start the second sock and I'll just knit until they're the same length. That's all I plan to do. I didn't split the ball, and yeah, so I'm just going to weigh it as I go. So I'm using, what am I using? Oh, I'm using a new set of needles that I got. They are Addi 8-inch circulars. These are a size 0, which is 2 millimeters, and I'm really liking the fabric that I am getting. This is a really nice, smooth yarn. It's a 4-ply sock yarn. The color, you can see, is beautiful. He's really gonna love them. And I'm curious to see how they fit. There is a good amount of stretch, but this is the first time I've used a 2 millimeter sock needle. Normally I do a 2.25 millimeter, but I figure his feet are a little bit smaller than mine, the circumference, so this might fit him a little bit better. So I have until Christmas to finish these, and it's been going fairly quickly, so I hopefully can get them done fairly timely. I only work on them when he's not around, so mostly when he's in bed or at knit night. I'll be taking them to knit night tonight. All right. And this is in a new project bag that I got from my friend Ariana. Thank you, Ariana. I'm gonna put that over there. I have another sock whip, and this is in my Lady Dragonfly Studio bag, which Marlene gifted to me at the Prairie Fiber Festival this year. And in it are some socks that I'm knitting 2 at a time, toe up. So there's the toes. I started with a really pointy toe, and whatever, it doesn't bother me. So I'm at the point where I've done some gusset increases, and I need to do the heel flap, or the heel turn and the heel flap, and I've pretty much just stopped there because I really need to sit down and focus on this next step so that I don't screw it up too badly. But this yarn is Felici self-striping yarn from Knit Picks, and although I'm pulling both balls from the center, because I'm using 2 balls, the colors are in reverse order, and I'm pulling both from the center of the ball. So these are definitely going to be fun socks. I am using some Addi circulars. These are a 2.25 millimeter, and they're very nice to knit with. They have a pretty flexible cord and nice smooth needles and a very smooth join. Very nice needles to knit with. Yeah, and then also this is my first time doing toe up. I'm following the Sockmaticians toe up pattern. Hi. Hi. Come on. Come here. The Sockmaticians toe up sock pattern, and I decided to do 2 at a time because I really wanted to try 2 at a time, so that because I have 2 balls of yarn, and also I wanted to do toe up so that I can use all the yarn and just make them really tall socks. So next step is heel, and we'll see. I might start doing that today, this afternoon. The next work in progress I have is in my Andrea's Handspuns Yarn Party bag, and it is my Timely cardigan. So last time I showed this to you, I had finished the body and I needed to do the ribbing. Can you move, please? She's being such a brat right now. So I am on the ribbing. I'll hold it up to you. So this pattern uses a 1x1 twisted rib, and I'm partway through a row because I did a little bit this morning before school. And I'm getting close to being 3 inches into the ribbing, and the pattern calls for 4, so I'm just going to keep going. I'm still only on my first ball of my blush color from Comfy Cozy Knits, and I have a second ball to use of this color, as well as the speckle color, which is from Midnight Cravings, and it is called Room for Everyone. So you can see that it is alternating pink and speckle stripes on the whole cardigan. So I'm going to be really happy to get this ribbing done, because I don't really like knitting the ribbing on this 40-inch cord. I find it gets it winds up on itself and it twists up and it gets in my way when I'm knitting. But I am using some Hiya Sharps interchangeables, and I'm using the size recommended in the pattern. Oh, papers are falling. The cat just wants to chew all the papers in the house. So I'm really pleased with how that's coming. I had to order some 12-inch circular needles for the sleeves, because I really like knitting sleeves in the round and not magic loop. So those will be coming in the mail very soon. If you are ever looking for some Hiya interchangeables, I recommend checking out Acme Fibers. They're based in Ontario. They have amazing prices and great customer service. And yeah, so I'm just waiting on those, and hopefully I'll be able to start the sleeves very soon, which is very exciting. Maybe I'll have this done in time for spring. So I'm going to put that away. My bag fell down. So other than knitting, I've also been doing a lot of crocheting lately. I have really gotten back into my granny stripe blanket, my crocheted scrappy granny stripe blanket, and I've recently put it into a new basket, which I picked up at the Fiber Nook on Saturday. This is from Big Blue Mama. Her and I did a pop-up there on this past Saturday, which was a lot of fun, and thank you everybody for all of your support. I had an amazing day, and I got a basket, which was really cool. So, you're back again. You're back. What are you doing? Do you just want to cuddle? Do you just want to cuddle? Hey? Can you stay still? Can you stay still? Anya? I don't know. Hi. What do you want to do? You want to go look out the window? Okay, go on. Go on. So here is my granny stripe blanket. It is, you can see all the ends because I am not going all the way across the row because I'm trying to use up every last bit of scrap. But it is as wide as my wingspan, and it is now, oh, I don't know, a good 18 to 20 inches long. So I'm really pleased. I have not started weaving in ends yet. I am tying knots at the end of the blanket. I might leave the fringe. I might just trim it a little bit shorter. These are all scraps from either my projects or friends' projects. I've gotten scraps from a few different friends, and I have more scraps in my basket. Just a few for now. I'm using this Clover crochet hook to crochet it with. It is a 3.25 millimeter Clover crochet hook. And Cricket is pulling on my blanket. Because I've been obsessing over this blanket lately, I've gone and purchased some mini skeins from different people online and in person at markets and that sort, and I will be sharing those with you when I get to my acquisition segment. But now I could talk to you about spinning, because I once showed you a finished skein of hand spun yarn. Cricket. She's such a brat. She's playing with my toes. So I showed you this skein, I think, in the last episode. It is a 2-ply that I spun from some roving from the Fiber Goddess, who is Jen, and she's out of Calgary. And this is a Polwarth silk blend. It's non-superwash. And I had purchased 2 braids of it, so now I have 2 skeins of this yarn. And I would really like to knit a sweater. Top down, circular yoke, something with a drop shoulder. And then I want to do the rest of the body, and I'm thinking on the light gray. What do you think? And I want to get another non-superwash yarn, and I've been looking at some options at the Fiber Nook. So when it comes time for me to actually pick a pattern and go and buy yarn, I'll probably take one of these with me to the Fiber Nook so that I can try and find a yarn that matches the thickness and works well with this yarn. What? Now she's talking to herself. What are you doing? So I'm going to get into acquisitions. There's quite a few. It's been a couple months since I have been on here. I already showed you my Big Blue Mama basket, and I did show you the sock that I'm knitting for my son. But I also got, where did it go? Here it is. I also got this yarn from Biscott Yarns. It is the Sorcerer's Uniform. So this has the same colors as a Sorcerer's Scarf, but it also has white and gray mixed in with it. And this is a self-striping yarn. It's the same base as the one I'm currently knitting with, which is 85% superwash merino wool and 25% nylon. This is their Bis sock self-striping. So this is the information for you. It's very, very soft. And I really like their color saturation. I don't know when I'm going to knit this one. I do have a lot of self-striping yarn, and right now I'm just trying to focus on finishing those 2 pairs of socks. One for myself and one for my son Brett. Now, let's see. Back in October, I was a vendor at the Calgary Fiber Shindig, and while I was there, I got to meet the lady behind the Wool Baron. I think her name's Lori, and I really wanted to get this color from her when I saw her at the Prairie Fiber Festival, but I didn't have time to shop there, and she sold out of it before I really did have time to shop. And this is the Ugly Sweater Party on her sturdy sock base, which is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon, and it is a 20 stripe repeat. 20 stripe color in this yarn. So I'm really excited to do this. I kind of want this to be my Christmas cast on, so I really gotta get those other 2 pairs of socks finished so that I can get this on my needles. I did purchase a mini skein to go with it, this green one, but I also purchased a bunch of other mini skeins, any of which I could really add in with the Ugly Christmas sweater. No, what's it called? The Ugly Sweater Party. Like, I really like this purple would look nice with it. This one's just a variegated. This pink one has got pink and black and purple. And then these 2 are the same colorway, and I didn't notice because, of course, when you dye yarn, they come out different even when they're dyed the same. Or as exactly the same as we can. that's how hand-dyed yarn is. So it's pretty cool. I've got 2 of these. My original plan when I bought these 5 was to make scrappy socks with, but honestly I'm probably just going to put them in my granny straight blanket because I'm all about the blanket and minis for the blanket right now. So I'm going to put them in there. After that, the dyer of Casual Fashion Queen, her name is Sheena, had an update on her website, and she posted a picture of these mini skeins inspired by a bunch of different books by Stephen King, who is my favorite author of all time. I had to get these mini skeins. So there's going to be crinkling. Stephen King minis. There are 10, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 mini skeins, which I have not taken out yet. But each one is inspired by either a character or a story in one of his novels or one of his books of short stories. And I'm very excited to put these in my blanket as well. Now, since I was buying something coming from the United States and paying for shipping and all of that, I decided to grab another skein, a full-size skein from Sheena. And this one is her Mabone color. This is a 2-ply superwash merino, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And I actually watched a video of her dyeing this colorway once, and I just thought it was so gorgeous. I don't know that one skein was enough, but I don't know what it's going to become yet. I just really, really wanted it. So it's just going to go into stash. I do have some other yarns in the same base as this, and I like to try to keep the same bases together when I'm knitting. So I'm going to put it on that spot of the shelf, and it can sit and marinate for a while because I have way too much knitting that I want to do and not enough time. So these minis are going to go in my Big Blue Mama basket to be put into my blanket. And this one's going to go on the shelf for now. Now, back in October, Worldwide Mental Health Awareness Day came about, and I myself did a giveaway on Instagram for one of my Struggle and Strength collection yarns, and also some other people were doing giveaways for yarn. I actually won a giveaway from the Cox triplets, who live in England, and they have a podcast called Knit 3 Together, and I won their mental health giveaway, and I won these 2 skeins of yarn from Dye Candy. Oh, here's the label, Dye Candy. This lady is in England, and she is very colorful, and this one is called Strawberry Fight, and this one is a one-of-a-kind called Olympia. And it came in the cutest, tiniest little package, and I don't know how it fit in that tiny little package, but thank you, Terry and Tony and Stephanie, for the lovely prize. I am looking forward to knitting this at some point. It is going to go on the shelf to marinate and think about project ideas until a later time. So now, I have one more acquisition that I got from the Calgary Fiber Shindig, and it is this spinning caddy from Andrea's Handspuns, and I loved the lining fabric of it so much. It reminds me of one of my aunts who used to sew her own clothes, and she just has this 70s housewife vibe about her, and this reminds me of her so much. So what's neat about this spinning caddy is that it has a snap, so you can snap it around the mother of all behind your wheel, and you can put your spinning fiber in there, and you can grab some out as you need as you need more while you're spinning. And I used that while I was spinning the second one of these, and it worked really well. It kept my fiber off the floor. My cats didn't get into it. I didn't get cat hair on it. It worked like a charm. Love it. I lied. That is not my last acquisition. So you've heard about these mini skein advent calendars, 24 mini skeins or 25 mini skeins of yarn that you get to open each day of Advent leading up to Christmas. Well, I dyed some and sold some from my own shop, and I kept one for myself. So this is it here. Mine. And so they're all inside, wrapped in tissue and numbered 1 to 24. And I also asked my husband to get me one for Christmas. And this one is from my friend Ashley from Comfy Cozy Knits. And she put this advent calendar together. And I just picked it up the other day. And here it is. It starts with number 1. And I get to unwrap a new one every day until Christmas. And then on Christmas Day, there's this one. Do not open until December 25th. There's a full-size skein in there, and they fit perfectly in this box, and I can reuse this box for maybe Christmas socks. That sounds like a fun idea. So if you follow me on Instagram, I will be opening up my advent calendar, the one I dyed for myself and the one that Ashley dyed. Every day leading from December 21st to 24th, I will be opening them up on Instagram in my stories so you can see what they look like. So lately I've been doing kind of up and down mental health wise. It's been 2 months since I talked to you guys about my mental health and how it's been going, and I did do a medication increase about, I want to say 7 weeks ago or so, 6 or 7 weeks ago, and it wasn't good. I basically got more anxious, more irritable, really grumpy, really angry, and like I talked to my husband and he's like, this is how you've been. Like, I said, okay, would you say that that corresponds with this date? And he thought back and he said, yeah. I said, okay, it's the medication, because not only was I emotionally not well, I was having headaches and nausea as well, and those side effects of my medication generally subside after doing an increased dose. After increasing my dose, after a few days, they generally subside and it's fine. But this time it just continued, so it affected my sleep, it affected my mood, it affected me physically, like headache and nausea. And so I just went back half a dose, or like a quarter dose, and then after a few days I was starting to feel much better. At that point in time, though, I was still not feeling like I was coping well with my anxiety. When I drove down to Calgary Fiber Shindig with my mother, who was going to be my helper for the market, I ended up having a panic attack about 40 minutes outside of Edmonton, and I had to pull over. I thought I was going to pass out. I was getting... it started out by feeling kind of tired. I was feeling tired. I was yawning. My eyes started twitching. And then all of a sudden I started to get that like a buzzy sensation in my head. And I knew that if I didn't do something, I was going to pass out. So I pulled over on the shoulder of the road and parked, stopped the car, got out, switched sides with my mom, my mom said, just stay outside and get some fresh air. We'll wait here a few minutes before we go. And I felt like I was hyperventilating. Leading up to that moment where I felt like I was going to pass out, I felt totally fine. I didn't have any anxious feelings or thoughts. I didn't feel like I was triggered by anything. It was a beautiful day. The roads were clear. There was no snow. There wasn't a whole lot of traffic. There was no reason for me to have this panic attack, but that's what it was. And my mom actually recognized it in me because my mom used to get panic attacks when she was driving. And so she drove the rest of the way to Red Deer. We stopped at the Donut Mill for lunch. And then I got back in the driver's seat and drove the rest of the way to Calgary and to our hotel with absolutely no problem at all. Down in Calgary, it was great. We had fun. I met some people, had a good market. I had a really good time, one-on-one time with my mom. We ate some great food while we were down there. And then when it was time to leave on Sunday, we checked out of our hotel around 9 o'clock and we started driving out of the city. And then after about 30 to 40 minutes, I started to have a panic attack. And my mom, she's, chatting away with me in the car, and she's talking, and then I'm just basically doing everything I can to focus on the road. So I'm holding onto the steering wheel, and I'm just trying to breathe. And all of a sudden, I felt like I was going to pass out again. So I pulled over onto the side of the road. Or before I pulled over, my mom looked at me and said, "Do you need to pull over?" And I said, "Yes." So I did. I pulled over, and then I'm hyperventilating, and it took probably 20 minutes for me to calm down. She drove the rest of the way to Red Deer again, from Calgary to Red Deer. And we stopped at the donut mill, got some donuts and some coffee. Ate our donuts in the car, and then I got back in the car and I drove the rest of the way home, and I was totally fine. Again, the weather was great, the roads were fine, there was light traffic. I had no reason to have this panic attack, but I did. And I'm starting to wonder that maybe it runs in families, that it's inherited, because I never knew before I started talking about my anxiety. I never knew that my mom had it too, and we are alike in so many ways. So telling that to my doctor at my last appointment. She said, "It sounds like your current prescription isn't managing your anxiety very well." So she basically gave me a prescription for a booster for the anxiety. So I'm on Cipralex for anxiety and depression, and now I'm on Buspirone, which is a booster for anxieties, and I take that. It's a low dose. You take it morning and night, and my anxiety's been a little bit better. My mood has generally been better since decreasing my Cipralex. However, we also just had our time change for daylight savings times ending back at the beginning of November. I forgot to mention what the date is. It's November 20th. So it's 3 weeks in. After the first week of daylight savings time ending, I started to feel like I was going down into depression again. I was having some nausea and stomach upset, some headaches. I wasn't sick. It was mild, but it was there. I was feeling tired. I wasn't feeling motivated. I wanted to shop. I wanted to buy yarn. So I did. I have yarn coming in the mail. But this one night, this one day I texted my husband and I said, I feel like I'm going down again. And he said to drop Brett off at soccer practice and come home and we'll talk. So we did. We talked about how I'm feeling and how I know what's happening. So I told him exactly what I told you. And he said, look, if shopping makes you feel better, he says, do it. You don't shop a lot. You have a budget. You have money saved up for this kind of thing. And I do. I put aside money for shopping. I do get guilty. I feel guilty when I shop for myself. But it's something that I budgeted for. So it's okay. Like, I know I can spend a certain amount and then stop and then I'm done. And I'm still kind of feeling like I'm in the shopping mood. But my outlets for shopping are usually it's either yarn or like going to the thrift store. So at least the thrift store isn't very expensive because I don't see the point in buying new things when there are perfectly good items that are already in the system that can be reused. For instance, today, I've been putting off buying a new pair of jeans for probably a year, which is why I really don't wear jeans because nothing that I own fits me. They were either too big or too small, and I hated wearing them. They hurt, or they were sloppy. So my husband said, you were still thinking about buying jeans? Just go and do it. So I went to Value Village, and I bought 3 pairs of jeans for $35. And one of the pairs is like practically new. It might even be new without tags. The best part about shopping for jeans in a thrift store instead of in one store is that you get to see and try on all of these different brands, all of these different styles and sizes in one place. It was amazing. I found 3 pairs of jeans in one short shopping trip. I don't know how many of you are sick and tired of trying to find clothes that fit and having to go store to store to store because you can't find the right fit for your body. Go to the thrift store. There is so much variety there. And then you're reducing your carbon footprint because you're using items that are already in the system. You're not buying new. You're not requiring somebody to make something new for you. It's already there. So I'm really happy. I feel like I'm gonna feel more comfortable in my body, that I won't be wearing my yoga pants or whatever all the time when I go out to knit night. I'll have real grown-up pants now, and they'll fit. They'll fit really well. I also bought this cute little sugar container at the thrift store. See the little sheep? My sugar jar broke 2 weeks ago. It slipped out of my hand, fell on the floor, cracked right in half, and spilled sugar everywhere. So I was disappointed because that was a wedding gift, but I found this one for $2, and it has a little sheep. So, in my opinion, you can't go wrong. I think that's all I want to talk to you about today. I lied. I do want to share some new things going into the shop. I'll be right back. Okay, so I don't know how many of you are obsessed with mohair lately. It's been very, very popular. I haven't knit with it myself, but I really, really want to. And because of that, I decided to bring in some Kid Silk mohair with silk. So, Super Kid mohair and silk. Yes. This is my brand new favorite colorway, and it is called The Floor is Lava. How many of you have kids that play that game? Mine does. And this color goes perfectly with leaf pile. So what you can do with the mohair silk lace weight is you can hold it double with a fingering or DK weight to knit a hat or a sweater, like a super fuzzy sweater. Mohair is nice and warm. The silk gives it strength. It's the base strand of the mohair that is silk, and then the mohair itself is all of the fibers that are spun around the silk thread. So this one, again, the floor is lava and leaf pile. I think they go really well together. I have another new color. Well, it's not a new color, I'm sorry. It's the same color as this. You Had Me at Merlot. So I have it on the new mohair lace. It also looks really nice with Prairie Mosaic and Boots Are Hearts as well. Some of the other mohair that I have now is silver gray. You can pair that with some silver itself. You can pair it with Frick It's Cold or Whisper. Speaking of Whisper, I have Whisper on the mohair lace weight. And I also have Pink Champagne. Can you just see how fuzzy that is? It's so gorgeous. And this is Pink Champagne on fingering. So you could hold those double and make a hat. A couple more colors. This is I Think We're Alone Now. So again, mohair, fingering weight. And then here's Frick It's Cold on the mohair. I have one other color. It's a new neutral called Sand. And I had another one called Mocha, but it sold out at the Fiber Nook this weekend. It was very popular. So I am planning on updating the shop tomorrow, Wednesday, November 21st. I'm hoping to have that updated, let's say by 3 p.m. on Wednesday, November 21st. So I will have all that mohair listed. I have a few mini skein sets of the Struggle and Strength line. I have a lot of updated quantities of Struggle and Strength and all of the rest of my most popular colorways. So I hope you come see that. My website is AlisonBarnesYarn.com. And thank you so much for watching. I think that's all I have to say today. I'm just going to go edit this video and then go pick up my son from school. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.